Galaxy 666 by Pel Toro. Session 36.
Chapter 10. Through the pinky-white light, something that was obviously a living creature was coming toward them. In fact, several somethings were coming toward them. They were not the kind of somethings that commended themselves by virtue of charm of their physical appearance. Some people would say that there is much to be said for first impressions. Others try to disregard first impressions on principle. Bronet was of the later school of thought, otherwise he, being the nearest of the four explorers to the things, would have taken to his heels with a scream of fear. There are some strange life forms in the universe. Judged by humanoid standards, these things are not only strange, they were revoltingly strange. They had pseudopods instead of limbs. They advanced by means of these pseudopods. They appeared to be as devoid of skeletal support as the wheelbeast which had just zoomed across the planet, as though it were a harbinger of their coming. There was something revoltingly gelatinous about their general appearance. They slithered and slid. They came forward at a kind of crawling slide. In size, they were bigger than the humanoids, and their upper extremities, which could only have been called heads by the most generous of descriptive writers, were covered with odd little sensory organs, which might possibly have served some function similar to that which is carried out by the eyes and ears of a man. But this, as far as the four explorers were concerned, was still in the realm of speculation. The things were odd, weird, grotesque. There was something horribly uncustomary and unwanted about them. They were completely unfamiliar. Their appearance was outlandish and extraordinary. There was something quite phenomenal about them. They were supernormal. They were unparalleled. They were unexampled. The shape of the alien was singular in every sense. They were curious, odd, queer, peculiar, and fantastic, and yet when every adjective had been used on them, when every preternatural epithet had been applied to their aberrant and freakish appearance, when everything that could be said about such eccentric, exceptional, anomalous creatures had been said, they still remained indescribable in any concrete terms. The four men stood their ground surprisingly well. Ishklaw found that he was only a few paces away from the nearest of the hideous things. It reached out a pseudopod, and he felt a tingling like a mild and very unwelcome electric shock as the outflung extremity came into contact with his skin. He wished then, as he had rarely wished before, that he was incarcerated in the preserving confines of a pressurized suit. It would have been bad enough for the thing to touch the outside of his space helmet, but it was touching his skin. It took all the effort of his powerful mind to restrain him from leaping backwards as though he had been stung. "There isn't going to be a communication problem, whatever else we've got to contend with," said Ishklaw. "How's that?" asked Bronet. "Contagiously. They're telepathic," said Ishklaw. "What the devil do you mean by that?" asked Oski. "Do you mean you could catch telepathy from touching them?" "No, I mean they're telepathic when they're in contact with you," said Ishklaw. "Strong signal?" asked Oski. "Almost painfully strong," replied the problems expert. The three stood round watching him while he soaked in the alien thoughts and transmitted his own humanoid thoughts in return. Anxiety permeated the silence like a strong smell permeating a refuse dump. Finally, the indescribably odd alien withdrew its pseudopod. Ishklaw leaned on his fellow problem expert for support. "Tough time?" suggested Korzak sympathetically. "It's only the initial acclimatization. Normally, as a means of communication, it's okay, I should imagine," said Ishklaw. "At least it's a lot quicker than normal verbal communication. You don't realize how rapid thought is, particularly thought independent of speech, particularly thought that is non-verbal in character, until you actually try it for yourselves." "What did they say?" asked Oski. "It would take far too long. Better to make contact for yourselves. I don't feel much like giving a lengthy interpretation at the moment. I feel like a rest. You will, too, when you've had a go at it." "I'm not sure whether I want to have a go at it," said Oski. "You'll be terribly in the dark if you don't," said Ishklaw. "I'm game," said Bronet. He set his jaw firmly and tensed his muscles, after the manner of a man who is about to take hold of a live wire. "Blast!" he swore savagely as the alien pseudopods glided across his dermis. "I can't say I care for the touch of these things," he muttered out of the side of his mouth. "No, as a tactile experience, it leaves much to be desired," agreed Ishklaw. One by one, the explorers made contact with the alien pseudopod. One by one, they staggered back to recuperate from the experience. But they knew a great deal more than they had known before they made contact.
Here ends Session 36.